Hello, friends. Good to see you again on another live stream. I think I need a streaming theme song. What do you think? Gotta come up with something. Just waiting for a few other folks to join, but hope you are doing well. I'm going to start drawing here in a bit. Got a few folks queued up in the drawing queue, and hopefully we'll get several done in the next hour or however long we have together. I just thought I would play some guitar for a little bit until a few more get on. Tell me who you are and where you're coming from, and what got you onto this channel, and tell me what I can do to improve this channel. More guitar. Or maybe I should stop playing guitar and get straight to drawing. Hope you're doing well. Drop me a comment on wherever you're coming from, if it's Facebook or YouTube or Twitch. Let me know how you're doing. Love to hear from you. Well, yesterday I talked about I've been streaming, almost every day this week because I took some vacation. And hey, press 5. Guess what? I've got your image, and thank you for posting posting that on Twitter, and you are in the queue for today. So you've got some very interesting glasses. I can't wait to draw to draw those. So yesterday I talked about how I'd been, taking some vacation time and playing around with some other things, and I talked about one of my son's birthday is today. We had a nice birthday party for him, grilled some hamburgers and had just a traditional kind of summer meal with some corn on the cob and a really awesome ice cream sandwich cake. Man, I don't know where my wife finds these things, but it's pretty amazing. So yesterday I talked about one of the things I wanted to do for him as part of his birthday was to draw him a birthday card, and I did. I drew Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. So he's into music. He plays piano quite well, actually, and he also loves llamas and whales and things like that. So yesterday afternoon, after the stream, I drew this somewhat cute Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And then last night, I was just, we had a good time around supper having some queso, and I thought, queso is pretty magical. It's a really special thing. So I decided to draw a quick thing to put on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, just to see who else might agree with me that you can achieve better living through queso. Drawing something like this, just to give you kind of a sneak peek, an idea of how I do something like this, is I will start with a bowl, and using the quick shapes that are built into Procreate, I'll take a pen like this round brush pen and draw an oval, and then if you hold it down, and it snaps into a perfect oval shape that you can then spin around and do some things with. Procreate makes it really easy to do something like that. So I drew a bowl, and typical to a lot of things that I draw, I created a layer underneath it. I fill in with a blue color, and then I filled in a queso color. So there's my bowl of queso. And then I drew a chip. So just a good triangle, followed by another blob on top of that as the cheese. And then I used the same queso color to fill in that blob area as the cheese. And then I also colored in the chip as a kind of a chip color. And then on top, I created a multiply layer with the gray, and just added some detail, like some shadows on the chip and the cheese, shadow inside the bowl, shadow on the outside of the bowl, as if the light was coming in from this direction. And so there's my bowl of queso with a chip and the dip. And then I drew the quote to begin with, just with regular, and then on a layer above, I filled in like some, kind of cleaned up the lettering and added silly trademark, as if this were a real thing, as if this was science, which it is. Thank you very much. And then added my signature. So that's a composition of, pretty much in a nutshell, a lot of the drawings that I do, that I put on Twitter and Instagram. That's these silly kind of cartoonish things. That's it in a nutshell. That's what I do. I am going to start on a drawing. Without further ado, let's go to my Twitch folder here. These are some of the drawings that I've done on previous streams. I'm going to add a new avatar type image, which, that's just what I've named that canvas size. It's 300, basically 300 by 3072 by 3072 pixels. You can create canvases of any size, within reason in Procreate. The bigger the size of the canvas, the more detail and all that, but it also consumes more memory. And so depending on the size of the iPad that you have, it limits the number of layers that are supported. So that is one advantage of using something like an iPad Pro, is that it has more memory, more storage, and you can have drawings that are bigger, have more layers, and but for casual sketching and illustrations and even the things that I do, even as sometimes as elaborate as I get with some of the illustrations that I do, an iPad Pro is kind of overkill. So if you're in the market for buying a device like an iPad, you can get away with a much cheaper iPad and Apple Pencil. So for less than $500, you can have an amazing setup. The iPad Pro will run you a lot more, and the big advantage to me is that it's got a larger screen. It's got this magnetic pencil where it syncs and charges the pencil magnetically. To me, all those features kind of add up to, it's worth it to me to go with the larger iPad Pro. All right, so without further ado, let's add some layers here. I'm going to go to layer number 8 and add in my photos. So first up is TJ Barber, who tweeted me yesterday after my other live stream, said he would like to participate. So don't know if you're on the stream today or not, because I had to bump the stream around a couple of times. So if you're not on, that's unfortunate. But hopefully you'll be able to catch the recording and get to enjoy watching me draw your avatar. So let me see if I can find his tweet. Or maybe he sent me a private message. Yep. TJ Barber. So TJ, this is for you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. If you are on the stream, you can let me know what color your eyes are, because most of the time I can't tell from a photo what color people's eyes are. So pardon me while I type a quick message. About to start your drawing. What color? See if he responds to that. All right, so I'll get my reference photo here for doing the line art. I'll duplicate that and stick a copy up here in the corner for me to look at later on. Change the opacity of this one to make it a little bit easier for me to draw or to see. And I need to be on the right layer. Change my brush to my favorite bold inker streamline from BJ Dell, the fantastic illustrator on YouTube who's got some brush packs and things for sale. Highly recommend his channel. And let's see. Usually like to start with the eyes. Then I'll add a layer above this for the eyeballs, and or the pupils, the irises, technical terms, science. I don't know if I have any of these correct. I'll duplicate that so I can make some good looking circles. And as I've mentioned before, when it comes to eyes, I will usually exaggerate them a little bit, make them a little bit bigger than they are in the real world. Kind of helps for that cartoonish effect. A little bit of a triangular shape for the pupils. Right now, you know, it kind of looks like he's looking to his left. You know, that's just kind of a trick there. I could go ahead and shift these over a little bit to give myself a little bit more space for some whites around the eyes to make it look more like he's looking straight ahead instead of off to the side. So I will do that. And then I've got just a little bit of cleanup to do. Because of that shift. I think that's good. Merge that back down. Some triangles for the pupils. And now, without even adding the whites around the eyes, it looks more like he's looking straight ahead instead of off to the side. So, mission accomplished there. Let's see. So the next thing I'll do is create some exaggerated eyebrows. Part of my signature style. Do a quick check to see if the nose and everything's looking good so far. So far, so good. Next is the mouth. And so I'll just add a little curl up on the ends just to make it easier to make it look like he's smiling instead of very angry. When you do cartoons, cartoonish style faces, it's sometimes a little harder than you might expect to make things look look good or look you know there's just certain techniques for conveying emotion and so I will set a couple of ends here. So that's kind of what I want to do. Let's maybe see what it looks like if I shave off a little bit of the teeth. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. Kind of, it almost hints at, we're looking at the bottom of the teeth there instead of just being really sharp like I had them before. And next will be the ears. And as I've talked about on my other streams, I am self-taught. So this is all from, things that I've come up with around how I represent noses and ears and eyes and things are mostly what I've learned just through trial and error. I have noticed when I've looked at other people's approaches to drawing ears and so forth that they do it very differently than I do. Like like one style I've seen is somebody will draw a line kind of around the ear like this, and well, maybe doing something like that. I don't know. What works for me is usually something like that. And then got the rest of the face. So draw in the chin here. Different angles. The chin, it's kind of in a weird spot. When people are looking up, or you can't, since I don't draw the whole neck when I'm doing a floating head illustration, then it's a little more difficult to define where the chin and the neck, the chin is. So a lot of times it's just trial and error. See what looks good. See what looks right. That kind of looks right to me. But might find, I mentioned this on the stream yesterday, but usually when you're drawing a chin and a jaw line, it's better to err on the side of making it smaller, unless you want to exaggerate and do a caricature style where you're making someone's jaw look, really prominent. So when it comes to drawing the jaw and the chin, I usually try to stay within or inside the photo that I'm tracing over, instead of trying to match the outside of the photo, if that makes sense. All right. So here, start with this. And that's kind of the look that I'm going for. I'll start on the bottom here and go with some a base skin tone. And you may be thinking, well, he's not drawing in the lines. Well, I can get away with drawing outside the lines when I'm drawing in parts of the drawing that I know I'll add other layers on top of. So in the case of the hair, I can be as sloppy as I want as long as I stay within the hair area, because I'm going to be laying a color of the hair on top in another layer. So I'll fill that in and then move up a layer and start on the other colors, like white for the teeth, white around the eyes, and I'll add just a little bit extra white on this, on the right side, or his left side, so that it makes it look more like he is looking straight ahead instead of off to the side. So even his head's tilted this way, but you want, this this way, but you want the eyes to be looking like they're pointed towards the center. And let's see, TJ did respond, and he says he's watching. Oh, cool. Good to see you, TJ. Glad you could join. And he says his eyes are blue-green. So, let's see. Usually when I do blue-green, I'll just kind of say it's more green than it is blue. So I'll fill in green to begin with, and then adds a darker blue. And so when you look at it from a distance, the color kind of blends, and so it looks kind of blue-green, but when you get really close, you can see that it's green and blue. And then a detail that I add that makes things look even more kind of realistic is to put a little bit of reflection in the corner of the eyes. And this all, the reflection itself also reinforces the direction of the of what looks like where the eyes are pointed. So if you put the reflection more to the left, it makes it look like the eyes are looking even more this direction instead of off. Just some things that I've kind of picked up and learned along the way. Let's see. TJ's hair is kind of I'm going to say a dark brown. So I'm going to just start with a base shade of brown, and I'll darken that up later with the shading that I'll add. So I'm just going to trace along these the line art, because I'm going to fill all this in after I'm through building this hairline shape out. So that's the base colors. And then I'll create a couple of multiply layers, and this is where, you know, some of the magic starts to happen with making this look more real. So I don't have any particular order that I go in. Sometimes, like right now, I'm starting with the eyes, and but you know, I will sometimes follow the same kind of pattern every time, where I'll shade in things in a particular order. Today I'm just feeling like shading in whatever I feel like comes next. So I'll start with the eyes and nose, ears. Maybe I'll go ahead and shade up the chin. And add a little bit to the upper lip here. And the lower lip. So let's see. I kind of don't. I try to make cheeks like symmetrical, and I didn't in this case. I kind of messed up when I was drawing this cheek. It's too high, so I'll come back here and erase down to where it ought to be. It ought to be, you know, cheeks kind of line up to the mouth, like the corners of the mouth. The cheeks kind of make for most faces kind of line up. So I want to kind of point these at the bottoms of the cheeks towards the mouth. And again, that's just something I have learned by trial and error. It's a kind of a rule of thumb, not a hard and fast rule. And let's see. And then there is, this line around the mouth. That's the cheeks, like when you're smiling, it creates those lines. A mistake that I used to make a lot when I was first drawing is I would draw these lines using black. Like, everything I saw that was, could be traced with black. I was tracing it with black. And that's one detail that you don't want to be black, because it's too strong of a contrast. So TJs are kind of a rounded shape from this angle. So something kind of like that. And as I've mentioned on streams before, sometimes this stuff works and sometimes it doesn't. I really don't know ahead of time. I do the best I can to try to match what a person's photo looks like. But sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Jason Goley, hello, my friend. I am so glad you're watching me on the stream today. Are you on the iPad Pro? Yes, I am. I absolutely love it. It is my favorite drawing device of all time. The apps that are available for the iPad are fantastic. But yeah, I could do what I do with a cheaper iPad. But the iPad Pro has some really nice features, like the bigger screen and the magnetic pencil. The other iPads use the older generation pencil, where you have to use the lightning port to plug it in to sync and to charge it, which is a subpar experience. But, for a budget, it still works really, really well and is an amazing device. All right. So we got our base colors and shading. The next thing I'll do is I'll go up another layer, and this is also a multiply layer, and I'll use a gray color. So multiply, in case I haven't explained this before, or you haven't been on one of my streams where I've explained it, multiply is this really cool effect where if I draw this gray over an area of the screen that's white, then it's gray. But if I draw over an area that is a different color, like this brown, that's easier to tell the difference. This is not gray. This is a darker shade of brown. So wherever I draw, it's going to multiply the gray and the color that's underneath, kind of like transparency. It's kind of like adding a translucent layer on top of, so it's just multiplying this gray on top of whatever color is underneath. So it's a really cool way to add things like shading to a drawing without having to constantly be, choosing darker shades of different colors to layer on top. You can let the multiply feature do the work for you. So when I use this gray, what I usually do is I'll first shade in under the nose and maybe give the nose a little bit of a shadow, like that. And then I'll maybe add a little darker line to this smile laugh line around the cheeks. I'll also go ahead and choose a darker gray to hint at the nostrils. Just to give that a more natural dark appearance. Go back to that light gray. I'll add a little bit to the eyelids and sometimes the eye itself, because naturally our eyelids do cast a little bit of a shadow onto our eyes. Something those are things you just don't think about unless you start drawing people's faces. There's details like that I've learned over time, that just by studying photos of people and other people's drawings, and just experimenting what works and what doesn't work. I don't have my drawing glove on today, so sometimes when I put my hand on the screen, it thinks I'm doing a 2-finger tap to undo. So 2-finger is undo, 3-finger is redo. Ian, thank you for joining the stream today, and it does kind of look a little bit like Ronald Reagan right now, doesn't it? Maybe I should draw a monkey off to the side. The old famous Ronald Reagan in his monkey movie. I've never seen the movie. I've just seen photos of Ronald Reagan with a monkey, knowing that he used to be an actor. Which, speaking of Ronald Reagan, recently I shared with some of my children the old Genesis music video, back when MTV did music videos. Land of Confusion. I don't know if you remember that music video, but back in the 80s, I think it was, the Invisible Touch album. There's a really amazing music video where there are these very caricature, lifelike puppets, and Ronald Reagan is the prominent character, in that music video. And there's just tons of other folks in that video. Absolutely, TJ. Genesis is 100% awesome. I love their stuff. Phil Collins himself is really awesome. But old Genesis as well, I am an old school progressive rock fan, so I love the old prog rock albums. I mean, I like Genesis like the Invisible Touch that has the more pop mainstream stuff. But I like the old stuff too. Peter Gabriel used to be with Genesis way back when, before Phil Collins discovered that he could sing. So Phil Collins was the drummer for Genesis. Peter Gabriel left, and they needed another singer, and somehow Phil Collins he didn't want to be the singer. I think he was kind of an undiscovered gem, and man, what a gem he is as far as singing goes. This has nothing to do with drawing, and now I'm on a tangent of talking about progressive rock. But if there's a cool band that's out there today that's doing music kind of like Genesis, the old Genesis, and kind of like Peter Gabriel, and anyway, there's a band called Big Big Train, and I don't remember the singer's name, but he sounds just like Peter Gabriel, and they usually have a horn section. The drummer for Big Train is Nick DiVirgilio, who has been in lots of other bands like Spock's Beard, for one. All right, enough of that. He works at Sweetwater now, and he's an amazing drummer. If you ever watch any drum videos from Sweetwater, it's probably Nick DiVirgilio. He's amazing. What kind of battery life do you get out of the Apple Pen while using it to draw? So I've been roughly drawing for 40 minutes maybe. And so I'll stick the pen up here to connect and charge. It's at 92%. I can get a lot of battery life out of a pen, but the nice thing is, anytime I'm not using the pen, I can stick it to the top of the screen, and it's charging. It's a brilliant design. This is what Apple should have done to begin with. Yes, Lee, and you know that Nick works at Sweetwater too. Yeah, he's an awesome guy. One more bit of trivia. Nick DiVirgilio, along with several other people that work at Sweetwater, did an album of pure, except for Nick. I mean, he's still playing drums, but everyone else in the band is playing a ukulele of some type. Ukulele. And they call themselves Unique, with a Q, spelled with a K. If you can get a hold of that album, a copy of that, I think they sell them through Sweetwater. But I saw them live. They opened for Neil Morris and Spock's Beard and all that at a Morris Fest a couple of years ago. It is absolutely amazing. They do covers of like Yes and Rush and Led Zeppelin, all with ukuleles. Simply amazing. I'll have to check out Animals as Leaders. Man, what a tangent. Don't get me started on progressive rock, music or guitars. Back to some shading. Promise I'll get yours, TJ. Let's do some eyebrows. And some hair. Whoops. Didn't close that in. I'll go back to the lighter gray and add some shadow just under the hairline, around the hair there. And then I will add a layer for some highlights. So I'll switch that layer to soft light, grab white as my color, add a highlight to the nose, maybe to the lip there, a little bit of highlights to the eyebrows, add some highlights to the hair, and kind of some bean-shaped highlights to the cheeks. A nice highlight on the chin. And of course the forehead. Stick a window of a highlight on the forehead. And I think this is about as far as I normally take this type of drawing. So I'm going to declare it done and slap a signature on here. Go ahead and hide that reference photo. And let's see. It's good enough. I think it works. TJ, what do you think? Did I capture enough of your, how you look in the real world that it seems that it resembles you? I hope it does. So I will export this and I will share it to you. I'll send it to you on back on Twitter later after the stream is over. All right. David, Colton is your super fan. Could you draw Colton one day? It would make his day for sure. Brandon, absolutely. I would be glad to and honored to draw Colton. I would anything I can do to inspire and encourage other folks to learn art and to help them with their path. That's something that means a whole lot to me. One of the talks that I give is, I include this story in several of my talks, but the gist of it is you never know when something that you say or do could be the catalyst that sends someone down a lifelong journey of joy, enjoyment, just something that pays dividends for years and years, or maybe even a lifetime. Just a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of a nudge in the right direction, a gift, a gift of your time, a gift of your knowledge, of encouragement. You just never know when something like that could make all the difference in the world to someone. That's what happened to me. I didn't realize it at the time, but when I was young, my aunt and uncle gave me a computer. And at the time, I'm thinking, well, this is fun. It's like a game. It's a toy. And I learned a little bit about how to use BASIC on this computer. And, it doesn't play games very well. I'm do what I can to entertain myself on the computer. But that was a seed that was planted that turned into a lifelong joy of geeking out about technology and computer programming and stuff that has made such a big impact in my life. And I never want to take for granted those kinds of opportunities where, maybe there's something that I say or do that helps someone else. So I believe that you too can make that kind of impact in other people's lives, whether you realize it or not. The key is to take the time to do something like that. To know that there's a mission in life to make a positive impact on other people. So I encourage you to do that. None of the grays showed up in the picture. Well, you're welcome. Next time, if you send me a better photo, You will definitely get the full treatment. Fun to watch. Glad I saw your going live tweet. Well, welcome to the stream, and I'm glad that you're here. Let's see. I got to crank out a couple more drawings. Let's see what else we got in the queue. Add some layers here. Insert an image. And we've got another fellow that responded yesterday, and I'm going to do just a quick sketch here. So maybe not a full color drawing, but more of a cartoonish caricature style. And make sure I got the right pen and brush. Let's see. This is AR underscore MAGED. So Maged, I don't know if that's how you pronounce your name or not, but I hope you're watching, and going to be drawing you next. Let's get back to the right brush. This is more of a, like I said, this is more of a quick sketch. Style. So I'll like exaggerate some things. Other things are try to minimize. So let's see. Let's see if that works. So I think that works. Just darken up some of these lines. Thin up the jaw a little bit. Make it more symmetrical. And then, let's see, we'll add another layer, and I'll change my brush to this light dry brush, which is kind of my go-to for facial hair. Maybe I'll use the same brush on the hair itself. And really lightly on the eyebrows. Well, I'm going to cheat a little bit. Sometimes I do these what I call quick sketch drawings, and I just do pure black and white. And this would be usually where I would finish, but in this case, I think I will go ahead and add just a little bit of shading just to thin up the face. And I think that's going to be about it. I say it's about it, and I keep on adding more stuff. But yeah, that's good. And that chin is bugging me, so I'll just shave off that a little bit. All right, buddy, I hope you like it. I will send it your way. Reply to your tweet. Share that, PNG. And got one more that I want to get done today because I said I would. And that is press 5. I hope you're still on the stream with me. I understand people's schedules might not always work out. Good. I'm glad to see that you're still here. So, check out those glasses. Have you ever seen anything like that? That's really cool. I love them. So, question I have to ask is, what color are your eyes? Oh, let's see. Going to draw the glasses first, which is really cool. Blue-green, but more green than blue. That usually is the case when you have blue-green eyes. I guess technically mine are blue-green, but it depends. You know, sometimes when I wear a blue shirt, they look blue. They're chameleons or something. All right, let's see. Where to start? Well, I said I would start with the glasses because they are super duper awesome. So I'm going to exaggerate a little bit. Well, that's supposed to be a square. Sometimes Procreate doesn't recognize shapes like they should. So I will just leave it at that. As I said, I will something awesome like that. I will exaggerate slightly. You know, why not? Hope you don't mind. Yay, love it. So I'll also exaggerate the eyes a little bit. Like so. Leave it that. Do just that much there. So have I drawn you before? Maybe several years ago, or at least 2 or more years ago. I think I'm recognizing your face. I don't always remember people's names, but sometimes I recognize a face. I'm going to go to another layer for the hair. And I want to go ahead and on a separate layer draw, color in the lips that I will probably tweak later on, but I want to just make sure that that's there. And let's see, get a green in here for eyes. And some blue. Add some white reflection. Well, hey, Troy, good to see you on the stream. I am wrapping up another drawing here, and glad you could join. And let's see, I will take a brown. not on this layer. Go back down here. Take this brown and fill in the eyes. Eyes. I'm on the hair. Hey, Mr. Diaz. How are you? Hope you're doing well in Vegas, in Nashville. Let's see, maybe all right, let's see. Just a little hint of eyebrows up there above the glasses. And now start on a multiply layer and what I'll do is bring the opacity down on that multiply layer just to soften it up a little bit. Add some to the lips here. Add some depth to the lips. Add some shadow. to the lips. Let's see. I'm glad glad to hear you're liking it so far. Doesn't always, like I said, sometimes these things work, and sometimes they don't. I'll try things, I'll experiment. Sometimes it turns out, sometimes it doesn't. I will do the best that I can, but can't make any guarantees that it turns out the way it ought to. But I do want to try to make folks happy with the drawings that I create for them. So if there's anything that I can tweak or improve that would make you happier with it, with the results, then let me know. Switch to a soft light layer. What I tell people sometimes is these, I do the best that I can, but these are not digital portraits. It would take me a whole lot longer than if I were to try to do something other than, a cartoonish type thing that I normally do. All right, so one thing that I'll do, that I sometimes do with a drawing like this, is so the hair and the glasses, there's not a whole lot of contrast there. So this side of the glasses, the edges of the glasses are kind of getting lost in the color of the hair that I've chosen. So one way to fix that is to add a little bit of reflection to the edges of the glasses. And a technique for doing that is I will go to the layer directly above, change that to a clipping mask layer, which means anything I draw on this layer it's only going to show up if it's also a color that's in the layer immediately below it. So, for instance, I could take this white and I could draw over here somewhere and it doesn't show up at all. And that's because there's no color to, nothing on the layer underneath it in that area. But if I draw that white on top of the glasses, then it shows up. So what I will do is I'll get my other brush, and I'll just add maybe a thin layer of white stroke to the very top of the glasses. Maybe I'll go ahead and merge. Whoops. Still didn't work. What I need to do is to merge these two layers together. All right. So add a little bit of white to the very top edge of the glasses. Which, looks a little too exaggerated right now. But then I can take that layer and bring down the opacity a little bit. And now it just kind of makes it a little bit, helps to define the top of the glasses so that you can help, create some contrast between those dark layers. And now the glasses stand out in all their glory. And maybe add just a little bit of reflection around the bottom of the glasses, like that, on the inside. All right. Well, I'm glad you like it. I'm glad to hear that you like it. Now, I do a couple of other different styles too. I could have done this and done like an Animal Crossing style, or there's a couple of other drawing styles that I've been dabbling with. So if you ever want me to do something different in the future, let me know. You can always go to my website if you're interested in a drawing. I do take commissions. There's a number of styles that I've got listed on my website underneath my store. If you want to get your own drawing or get a drawing made of someone else, I have folks who often, pay for a drawing as a commission for someone that they love or care about, or someone that they want to recognize, like as a gift for someone at work. I can do those. I'm going to sign this, and hey, Victoria, good to hope y'all are doing well, and love seeing those pictures and videos of your little ones. It's you know, you bring a lot of joy and delight to our family. I got to tell you, just about every time you post a video or photo of you and your little girls, and well, yeah, your family, um, you know, Tammy will come squealing, that she wants to show me another picture. Thank you, Mr. Diaz. I'm glad to hear it. Let's see. Where was I? I was signing this. Oh, I missed a spot. Let me fill that in. Sometimes when you get close up, you notice things. Yeah, don't look at any of my drawings too closely. It can be pretty sloppy sometimes. They're meant to be looked at as tiny avatars. That's where that's where they're the best. All right. Share PNG. I will get this over to you. Let's see. I will not be streaming tomorrow. Got three done today. I think that's a pretty good show for today. I will resume streaming on a regular schedule next Monday. It'd be really cool if you could let me know, what days and times work for you if you want to continue subscribing and watching me draw. I've been doing these on Mondays around 10:30 or 11 a.m. Eastern time. If there is I'm trying to hit the some kind of sweet spot between people who are in Europe and people who are on the West Coast. So somewhere in the middle, around the afternoon time for me is probably best. But if there's a different day of the week, I just have to continue to experiment to see what works and what doesn't work. So I'm so glad that you joined me on the channel today. As always, hey, Chelsea, good to see you. Glad to see you, that you've joined here at the very tail end of my talk or my stream on drawing. But the thing that I want to tell you before I let you go is you don't need permission to be awesome. Take the things that you're passionate about, the things that you're loving, the things that are bringing you joy and energy in your life. Chances are there are other people out there who could really use a little bit of, joy and energy spread around and love. I also want to encourage you that if there's something that you wish you could do, something like drawing or photography or music or, fill in the blank. What is it, what is it that you see and admire in other people that you think, man, I wish I could do that? You can do it. I started drawing 5 years ago just because I felt like, it was fun and something that I wanted to try, and I fell in love with it. And the key is that I have continued to practice. I have been patient with myself, and I have continued to, not necessarily set goals, but I have continually pushed myself to learn and experiment and to do different things. And lo and behold, I've got my own drawing style. I'm self-taught. I'm doing, You may you may be looking at me and thinking I'm a success. Well, I'm, very much a work in progress, and the things that I am getting better at, are as a result of me doing these things over and over and over for a long period of time. It's taken me a long time to get to where I am today. Um, I'm telling you that if this is something that you want to do or something like this, you can do it too. If I can do this, you can do it. So I want to leave you with that. I hope you have a blessed day, and hope you are doing well. And I will hope to see you again on the next stream. Until then, hope you have a blessed life. See you.